All right, 2 tasks this morning. First, we're gonna work on planting out these beans and probably the cucumbers too. And then I'm gonna show you what I do to protect my squash from the squash vine borer. So come join me. All right, this big patch here, these are Mayflower. These are pole beans. So I'm planting those in with my corn. So I'm gonna get those down by the corn. These are Mother Stallard. There we go, good Mother Stallard beans, which are also a pole bean. And these black turtle beans, these are a bush bean. Not a lot of those germinated. So I may try to restart some. What do we have here? The Hidatsa shield bean, those are also a pole type. A bunch of those. And then my cucumbers. Look how cute. These I don't have to do today, but I do need to do soon. So. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. 6, 7, 8, 9. I really put myself in predicaments, don't I? I'm not going to finish all these beans today, y'all. Don't do what I just did. Do not, under any circumstances, try to plant beans among your corn once your corn's already tall. Don't do it. This is a lot more work than I expected. But okay, so here's the thing, right? I've been battling voles here in my garden, and they just basically come in and eat everything. So I have taken care of the voles. I did not use poison. I don't like to use poison because the poison gets moved up the chain. You know, if you poison a vole and then something comes along and eats that vole, then it's also eating the poison. So I don't like to do that. But there did involve some unaliving of some voles. So these things have to be done sometimes, I guess. Well, if my fence was up, I wouldn't have had to done it because they would be excluded, but my fence is not up, so I didn't feel great about it, but that's done. Anyway, so back to the point. The reason I started the beans so late and then ultimately started them in little cells on the table over there was because I didn't want the voles to come along and eat them. So now I'm planting them, and it's hard work, and I will not make this mistake again. Okay, I've got 3 or 4 plants in each little space. That should be good. Lots of weeds. All right, I got the Hidatsa shield up here around my umbrella trellis. Okay, so they're in. Gotta be watered. I'm gonna put that sprinkler on in a second. And down here at my corn, I've got the Good Mother Stallard paired with the Bantam. And I have the Mayflower bean. Can't even see. It's in there. Got the Mayflower bean planted with the Aunt Mary's. I'm going to mix up some BT into a cup of water and use a syringe to introduce the BT solution into the squash inside, I'll show you, inside the vine to kill the squash borer that's in there. So you want to give it a good shake. I've got about a cup of water here. Let's take that out. You want just the smallest splash. I could measure it, but I don't. Just, ooh, that's more than I needed. And give it a little stir. I got these syringes on Amazon. With this one in particular, when you go to load it, you have to wait. It takes the suction a minute to fill up. Okay. And then because there's a little hole in the tip of the needle, I want to keep a little pressure, okay, through the syringe when I go to insert it into the vine. That way the tissue of the, back up a little bit. That way the tissue of the vine doesn't get stuck in the hole. I'll show you when we get there. Okay, loaded. All right, my Blue Hubbard over here Definitely showed evidence of vine borers the other day, and I've already treated it once. So this will be its second treatment. Let's get you in close. So there's what it looks like. The easiest way to tell if you have vine borers is you'll see the frass. You see that like yellow stuff, that's its poop. Okay, and you can see how the vine is sort of a pale color. This one actually looks like it's doing much better than it was the other day. So I probably killed that vine borer, yay! But I'm gonna follow up with a second round. All right, I'm gonna show you here because you can see it, sort of. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to keep a little pressure with a little bit of liquid coming out as I insert. And I'm gonna insert, I'm not gonna go perpendicular. I'm gonna kind of go along and into until I find the center. And then I should be able to, you see bubbles, insert the BT straight in. Now I'm going to go and do this over closer to the base where I saw the evidence of the vine borer. And I will try to do it one-handed. So you can see too, bear with me, okay? Okay, so I'm going to go again, at an angle along the vine. I'm putting a little pressure through the syringe. There we go. Now I'm in the middle space. Oh, no, through the space. There we go. Now I'm in the middle, and I'm just gonna unload the rest. And so the caterpillar that's in here, the little larva of the moth that is in here, eating on the inside of that vine. So now that I've introduced this BT, it's a bacteria that is a select insecticide for caterpillars and larvae. I've put it just on the inside. It's the only thing in there eating. I'm not going to hurt like monarchs or anything else like that. Just literally anything that is inside that vine eating it. Any caterpillar that's inside the vine eating it. That's it. I'm not like spraying all the foliage, so anything that eats the outside, or spraying a broad insecticide so it gets the pollinators. It's really just for that one moth larva that is eating that one section of my vine. So let's do another one. I won't talk to you during that one. You can just maybe see it better this time. All right, I'm seeing a little bit of evidence like here. You can see how this is sort of turning yellow. So let's go right in here, a little pressure through the syringe to keep the, there we go. There we go, and I'm in. All right, keep pressing. Yeah. Well, it was in. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit farther back. Let's see, can you still see over here? Nope. All right, so I'm gonna do it again. Again, a little pressure through the syringe, and once I'm into the center, I can just push. And that's it. There we go. You see the frass. we go. Well, so much for trying to use my left hand. There we go. Take him in now. Nope. Goodness. There we go. Got somewhere. I'll just keep trying. Failure. Trying again. So this is much easier on like summer squash because they're just bigger. It's easier to find the center. And I am by no means an expert, so let's try again here. This is also a kind of an awkward angle. There we go. I found the center that time. All right, so I've got some frass down this way. Okay, and you can see how it's sort of yellowing up to about here. And that's probably some evidence of frass there. Now the larva, the caterpillar, will start eating sort of above wherever you're seeing the frass. So you want to go in above wherever that is. And you can see the little bubbles coming out, the little frass hole. Frass hole right down there. That means I got it. Yeah, I'm starting to see some drips coming out the bottom too, so that's good. I don't need to redo that one again. All right, for the zucchinis and summer squash, I have found that in my garden they suffer a little bit more from the vine borers than my melons and winter squash and pumpkins. So the pumpkins and winter squash I keep an eye on, and if I see any evidence or if I see the plants looking wilty, I can go and look. But for the zucchini and the summer squash and the patty pans, I just inoculate them all probably every 2 weeks or so. I just did this last week, so I'm doing it again now, and then I won't do it again for another 2 weeks or so. There we go. All right, so my camera ran out of batteries last night, so I also ran out of batteries last night. So I'm gonna finish these last couple and we'll wrap this video up. This is a 3 milliliter syringe. I give anywhere from 1.5 milliliters to 3 milliliters, depending on the spot. As far as I know, it's not an exact science. It's always good to do a test with just a small amount and just make sure that your plants are going to do all right. And even though I'm not doing it here, you really should clean the needle before going from plant to plant, just like you should clean your shears when you're pruning. So you want to do a bleach and water solution, run it through the syringe a couple of times, and then rinse with fresh water before you go from plant to plant, if that's your bag. I did see a reference to giving 3 to 5 milliliters per 6 inches of stem. So you could do 3 to 5 milliliters at a couple of different spots, about a half a foot or so up the stem. Oh my God. All right, all the squash are done, finally. It doesn't take so long, really. It just takes me a little bit, all the walking back and forth. Got some really pretty things out here. I got a squash or two to harvest, I think. Some zucchini. Peppers are looking great. Some of them are starting to change. Paprika peppers coloring up. Jalapenos, getting some color. Look at these, they're so cool. These are maybe slightly less hot than a jalapeno. Check black. Some more jalapenos. And pimento, another pimento, lots more to come. Got a bell pepper, dill, yeah. I'll probably think about some stuff to say about the BT syringe method for vine borers, and I'll voice that over. But that's all for this video. Join me again.